Hi, I'm Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Take a look at this really fun quilt behind me. Isn't this just so bright and happy and fun, and it is so easy to do. To make this quilt, you're going to need a charm pack and a jelly roll of color, and we have used the Daily Zen by Michelle D'Amour from Benartex for our color. And for our solid, we have a Kona white charm pack and a Kona jelly roll. Now, when you put two jelly rolls together, it's going to make about a queen size quilt. So our quilt here is about 80 by 90, but we didn't use all the pieces. So it will be bigger than that if you use all your pieces. So that's just a heads up for you. Now, to make this quilt, it's going to take two blocks. One is going to be a block where the center has color and then a border of white and a border of color. The next block is going to be where the center is white and a border of color and back to white. So let me show you how to make these blocks. To make the center part, we're actually going to take our charm pack and we're going to cut it down to 4.5 inches. This will ensure that your jelly roll will go all the way around it both times and you won't have to fill in with any little extra pieces. So just trim 1/2 inch off of two sides of this and you will be good to go. And you're going to do that with your color and with your white one. So we have a colored one here that we've started, and we're just going to take our white strip, and because we know this is 4.5, we're going to sew it a piece to either side. So let's go ahead and do that over here. Make sure we're all lined up here. There we go. And then we're just going to go to the iron and we're going to iron this back. Let me clip these off. There we go. All right, so I like to just press that straight back like that. And then we're going to add our side pieces. So because your seam allowances differ, you're going to want to measure your side pieces and you're going to add them onto the sides. Now this one you can see I have my colored center and I've added my two side pieces and the other two pieces as well. And now it's time to put a colored strip all the way around that to finish the block. So what I like to do is I just like to take my strip and I'm going to lay my block on it and I'm going to sew down just like this, and I want to put the sides on first so that all my sides go out and all my tops go out. That part doesn't actually matter unless you're like crazy linear like I am, where you see the lines of things and then you want to be careful about that. So here's what we're going to do. Now I have this piece on the side and I'm going to trim this off just like this, and then over here just like this, and then I'm going to add the piece to the other side. So you can see here we're going out from the sides and then I'll put the top and bottom on. So let's go ahead and add our other side piece. There we go, and we'll trim that off. Then we'll want to go ahead and press these flat so that when we go to open our side or put our top and bottom on, then we're dealing with a nice flat block. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my square over here, and you'll notice that I'm always putting my strip on the top. That actually helps keep your strip from getting wavy. I have a nice even seam, and I keep a nice taut hold of that strip so that it's not going to wave or take in too much fabric. If it was on the bottom, it could take in too much fabric. So now we're going to trim this off one more time. Just like that. And we're going to add our last piece to the other side. All right. Okay, now we have, this is our whole block finished. We're going to trim off this last piece here. Just like this. And then we are going to iron this open. So we have a nice flat block. And then that's our finished block right here. And then we're going to make a whole nother set where we start with the white in the middle. So you're going to have two opposite block sets, and that's important to remember because that's how we get this look. So let's look at these two opposite block sets. And I'm going to use this green one because it'll show more contrast, and this purple. So we have white, color, white, and then we have color, white, color. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut these in half. So I'm going to line up my ruler here so that it's right in half. Basically, we're going to chop this block in half. Then what you're going to get is 4 pieces, oops, 4 pieces that look just like this. So then we're going to go over here and we're going to go ahead and cut this one in half as well. Make sure that's right in half. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn this. It's easier for me to do it up and down actually. That sideways cutting sometimes gets the best of me. There we go. So now we have 4 of these. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put these together so that they are going to make 2 blocks. And we're going to leave these 2 here, and we're going to bring in these 2 over here, just like that. So what we're doing is we're making a block that has opposites. The whole thing is opposites. We're calling it a chopped block because we've made a block that's bordered and cut it into 4. So you can see on here, see how this block right here and this block right here are the same, and then these 2 are the same as well, and we cut them apart and put them together. So this is going to sew together just like a 4-patch, and because you have all those nice little seams, you'll be able to line it up. So I like to start and anchor, get a couple of anchor stitches. Then I check to make sure that my seams are nested. And then once again, I check to make sure that my seams are nested. And we're going to go ahead and sew that. And I'm going to bring this one over here and sew it as well. So once you get your 2 side pieces sewn together, then we're going to put it together. Just, again, we're going to match up the sides, and it's going to go together just like a 4-patch. So I'm going to line these up and start along here. There we go. Make sure my seams line up. And I just keep lining them up as I go along. When you have lots of little seams, it's very helpful to keep things straight because you use each one as a measure of where you're going. And then what you get, let's iron this open. And then what you get is a cool block like this. So we have some extra blocks here, and let me show you how I lined this out. Let me show you how these go together. So what we tried to do was we tried to match opposites. So if I have a white here, I'm going to put a color here so it comes together this way. Just like this. And then we'll put our color up there. And again, down here we'll do the same thing. We're going to put opposites together, and it's going to make this great looking block. Just like that. So you can see as we put these together, we have 6 across the top here by 7 down. And so it just makes a great looking quilt. So just to recap, you're going to make 2 block sets. One's going to have a white center, with a colored strip and a white strip. The other block is going to have a colored center with a white strip and a colored strip. You're then going to cut them into fours, mix them up, and you're going to have blocks like this. But we all know that if you just use a different jelly roll, you can get a whole new quilt just like this. So take a look at this. Just by changing the pre-cut, we have changed the whole look of the quilt. This time we use Snowbird by Laundry Basket Quilts from Moda. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the chop block quilt from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.